Game on, please.
The colourful figure of Bobby George.
Big flip, Lazarenko.
John Lowe.
Okay, Wilson.
Wilson refused the handshake.
Rob Anderson.
Limestone Cowboy.
Dean Keller.
The crafty Cockney. A really outstanding display of darts. Surely golden arrows.
I'm Eric Bristow, also known as the crafty Cockney, and I'm going to take you back to my decade, which was the 80s, when I ruled the world.
Love him or loathe him, he is the best on earth.
When darts rated in the millions on primetime TV, and I competed against some of the best players that ever graced the hockey.
Put your hands together and welcome Bobby George.
There was all characters, miserable, some of them outgoing, mouthy, me, flash.
It was just a battle each time any of us played each other. Great for people at home, because it wasn't like put on, it was meant, you know, we got up there and we wanted to kill each other.
It was a special period, I think, for the dart game in general.
Could go anywhere really and be recognised. So it just shows you how big darts and how big the characters were in the 80s.
5 World Championships, 5 World Masters titles, 4 British Open Championships. I won them all in the 80s, which really was my decade of domination.
Eric was the greatest player in the 80s. I mean, he's been one of the greatest players ever.
The crafty Cockney.
Eric Bristow.
What a picture.
It doesn't matter where you went, people loved to hate him.
They turned the telly on because they hated him, because they wanted him to lose. But he knew that, so he gave it to them more.
Oh, the rivalry, it was backstage, was immense.
Eric would walk in and go,
What's you lot come here for, then?
"You see that trophy, lads? It's a shame it's going in my car tonight."
It's pointless, really, I'm winning this.
And then he would take it home as well.
I'd see new guys appear, and before they even got out there, Eric's already got them beat.
A great rival of mine was John Lowe, and I always had to be at the top of my game whenever we went head to head.
I think they were chalk and cheese. I mean, their abilities were second to none on the dartboard.
There was a rivalry there. Eric, at no time did he want John Lowe to beat him. Ever.
That's the order, please. 20
It's clearly low. Has won the advantage.
This was an unforgettable battle between me and John Lowe, and it went all the way to sudden death.
Thank you.
£5,000. Now with what? 12, 15 darts.
$100. $100.
Again, that's 80 scored, second dart in the treble.
140. $100.
Again, Lowe is just shading ahead. It's all going to be decided here after another superb exhibition.
$60.
Bristow will interpret that as a chance to gain ground. He's a ton adrift.
$100.
Absolutely loves it up. One slip now could prove fatal. Got to come out now.
135.
This leaves him 66 and Bristow back on 201.
60. John Clark, 66. Thank you.
3 10s will surely be his first objective, then 2 18s. It's a 15. Should stay there, really. Oh, he's missed it critically. Unbelievable.
And it will require 141.
No, Bristow wants 141.
John requires
The
32.
considerable calm of John Lowe.
Thank you.
See the final factor in this fantastic final. You could hear a teardrop.
Oh, I put my darts in my top pocket because if you can have a shot at a double, you don't expect to have a shot with Lowe. And he missed.
Oh, you can't afford to do that.
So I thought, that's handy.
No, Bristow. Will he miss? I don't think he will.
So I just went up there and I hit my double and
He won't.
thank you very much and give Tony Green a kiss and shook John Lowe's hand, and that's like one you've nicked, really, you know, because you don't expect to win that.
Isn't it super to see it ending on that kind of note?
Eric would shout his mouth off, but he did back it up, and you can't argue with that.
The reigning champion, Eric Bristow.
I've had a few tournaments where I've gone in and murdered everybody since the word go, and that was one of them as well.
His opponent, Keith Deller.
It was a massive tournament for me that really could have changed my career.
Well, it's good to see the Deller fella back in a big television final.
In the year that followed, after he beat me in the World Championship of '83, Keith's life changed and the media pressures took its toll on his world rankings.
I beat John Lowe, I think, in the quarterfinals on the way. That kept me in the top 60 in the world. And then I played John Walls in the semis and Eric in the final. But Eric could see that once I'd got to the final, the job had been done. And he sort of jumped on that pretty quick.
Deller needs to take this leg, otherwise his chance in the 1984 Masters is gone.
140.
It's a punishing opening from Eric Bristow. Unable to fault Deller's grit and determination. He's hung on to this whirlwind called Eric Bristow like a mongrel, snapping at his heels.
100.
Retrieving a situation which was fast slipping away from him there, Deller. Close call again. Deller's got to win this leg to stay in the Masters title chase.
60. Eric requires 161.
Again, he'd love to retain his title with a flourish. 161 now. 317s will leave the ball. Yes, the ball. Is this going to be the golden moment? Fractions away.
36. Keith requires 130.
And now Deller has got to produce the party piece on 136, and he isn't going to.
60. And Eric requires 25.
Eric Bristow wants 25. 9, 2 8s. There's the 9. He's got 2 darts for 2 8s.
9 scores.
And that's really must be regarded as a historical moment. Deller in with a rare chance. Really must be regarded as a historical moment. Deller in with a rare chance. 76. And he's got 2 darts at 2 8s. And he's missed as well. That surely will be his chance.
60.
Bristow. 2 4s now. He is the champion. He has retained his title. Who can question that this man is off form? We have seen another masterly performance by Eric Bristow, the world master, and he truly is that, the master.
Well, I played brilliant all the way through that tournament, and to beat Keith as well was nice because he'd done me before, which I remember.
1984 champion, Eric Bristow.
Well, that's enough about me. After the break, we're going to come back and have a look at one of my greatest rivals, a little wee man called John Thomas Wilson.
The wee-in from Fife.
John Wilson.
It's a fantastic crowd. They're behind you. How are you feeling?
I feel terrible, Dave. I'm very nervous, but I won't let them down.
A true character in the 80s was Jockey Wilson, and what you always remember about him was his silly grin, toothless as it was, but he never failed to entertain.
John Wilson.
That's a marvellous picture.
What a name to have, John Thomas Wilson, eh?
He was box office jockey. You never know what you was going to get, but it made you want to watch.
But his action and everything, just not a dart player. Some would come out the hand that way, some would come that way. He jumped, he snatched, he done all sorts, but it was so effective.
Jockey was an inspiration to Eric. I mean, when Jockey came onto the scene, it was Eric that really had to go and play his proper game.
From England, Eric Bristow.
And whenever Eric played jockey, the atmosphere was unbelievable. I mean, anything could happen there.
Scotland's #1, your very own win, Jockey Wilson.
It was always worth tuning in for a match between me and Jockey, especially if we were playing in Scotland. They didn't like me much there. It was in front of 3,000 Glaswegians that I came to realise just how dangerous a game of darts could be.
45.
Not a resourceful start.
In that game, they threw a tin can at me, went straight, the full tin can of Olsen pills went past me.
This really is very disappointing. A beer can on the stage there.
My manager came up the side of the stage. He said, what are you doing? You coming off? I said, no, they're just like Jockey. They go on it, nothing, mate. And I went back there and just beat him on TV.
Once 2 12s, and now 2 6s. The tension almost unbearable. Well, frenetically as the crowd tried to urge him on, you have to acknowledge that the Wian put up a great battle, but Eric Bristow truly is the master.
I could never not jockey. He was great for the game. But sometimes jockey, if he did lose his temper, you know, as jockey, he just lost it.
And it was best of 11 sets, and it went 5 sets all, 5 legs all, and it was sudden death for the bullseye.
I can't recall this in a major television tournament before. It's in the 25. It's vitally important to win the darts here. And Wilson's hit the ball.
Jockey Wilson to Lopez.
That's almost melodrama.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Game on.
Wilson wins strike.
Thank you.
Well, it's riveting stuff. So the Wian wins 40 with the first 3 darts.
100.
Two trebles.
150.
Absolutely locked together.
100.
It really is a classic now. A sudden death play out. And it could still go either way.
100. Jockey requires 161.
And could finish here. All 3 5s.
That
might just let Lazarenko in.
5th requires 161.
And he's hit the wrong treble.
123. Jockey requires 126.
Probably the most important finish he's seen in a long while. He needs the treble 19 now. And he's not going to get a shot at the ball.
58. Fifth requires 38.
Well, he wants 2 19s, 38. He may well sacrifice. Looks like he's coming across for 6. Yes. No, 32 2 16s.
And I went outside and I stepped across and I hit it with the last start.
What a moment. Yeah! And it's there.
And I put my hand out to jockey and he just went F off.
Wilson refused the handshake.
You know, I was delighted with the win and my aggression at the time, right, and I went jockey and he turned round and I went.
And that suddenly has soured the whole occasion. Lazarenko clearly unhappy. And that really is a tragic way to end a memorable match.
If Jockey wants to be it that way, that's up to him. But I'm through, he's not. So remember, watch out for Cliff Lazarenko.
A total contrast to the fiery temperament of Jockey Wilson brings us to the limestone cowboy, Mr. Bob Anderson. But his taste of shirts leave a lot to be desired.
Bob Anderson, famous for these quite awful shirts.
He had a very good temperament. You know, he wanted to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Anderson.
And Bob had a great career, ultimately winning the World Championship. In the 1984 MFR World Match Play, he was in his best finishing form of his life, closing out the last 5 legs with brilliant checkouts.
151 for Anderson. Now then, must come for 3 17s. Has found a double top. This could be the highest check yet. And there it is, 151.
5 consecutive legs.
He's just produced 1 party piece finish. Can he do it again? 120. Treble 20 will leave double top. He wants double top again.
Yeah!
And he has done it again.
I don't even know whether Taylor's done that.
And he might just produce another super finish. Yeah! And here it is again. 150 the finish. His finishing is truly remarkable.
When darts are flying like that, you've got to wake up and pinch yourself sometimes because, you know, is it really happening or am I having a dream?
60. He now wants double top for another fantastic finish, and he's done it again! Quite astounding. 154 the finish.
Well, you'll never see better.
Anderson composing himself. His finishing has been little short of phenomenal. Now 2 16s for a place in the semi.
Yes!
And there it is again. And when did you ever see finishing power like this?
If you look at his portfolio, he's a proper dart player.
The greatest thing he done in darts, he won the World Masters 3 times on the spin.
If you look at his portfolio, he's a proper dart player.
The greatest thing he done in darts, he won the World Masters 3 times on the spin.
Now 16 going for Anderson.
Yeah!
What a picture!
You've got to have a bit of luck with the draw, but you can't be lucky 3 times on the trot.
The limestone cowboy comes galloping home again.
It's impossible.
Second leg and it's John to breakfast.
In 1988, Bob went up against John Lowe in an epic match to claim his 3rd successive World Masters title.
100.
Anderson could take it with this leg if he could
45.
pull himself together, but 45 was hardly that. Yeah, a cruel deflection for Anderson. Moment of reflection here as Lowe kicks on for home when he first won this title in '76. Some of the players were around there. Phil Obbard from Wales, he beat in the final. And Tommy O'Regan, the great Irishman.
45.
He was just about the best in the world around the early '70s. He was in the last 8 then. No, he's still going strong.
140.
Anderson maintaining contact, hanging on by the shirt tail there. Anderson leaves at least a ton here. In fact, he needs a ton plus here to have left himself a shot.
60. John requires 156.
156 for John Lowe. $80 scored.
99. John requires 96.
Again, he really knows he can't afford to miss. Should come out for 16 to leave double top now. Can Anderson pull it out of the bag on 112? Still needs to stay there. The treble will still leave him a double. Double 16.
80.
A whisker away. Still the drama. Double top for Lowe. Now double 10. Now this should really be good night nurse.
32.
Double 16 for Anderson. Double 8. He was a mile away. Not this time. John Lowe missed doubles. He knows what he did wrong. Bob Anderson, despite the back problem, despite the luck, and despite the beard, has gone through and won this crown for the first time. 3 times the hat-trick. He spells it out, and Bob Anderson is writing himself into the sports record books.
World champion, hat-trick of wins, Bob Anderson.
Stay with us for more golden arrows as we look back at Bobby George in the days before the Dazzler and when John Lowe did his famous 9-dart 501 and put his name in the history books forever. Now the 80s was a great time for darts where all our dart players were household names. And one lad in particular was the housewife's choice.
Keith Geller.
Lovable. I'll call him the boy. That's how he got his name, the boy, because he was a boy.
If his enthusiasm was world ranking points, he'd be number 1.
He really did catch the heart of the nation.
Well, it was a British match play, which obviously I'd beaten Eric in '83 in the final.
And this was considered a rematch, and I wanted to settle the score.
Bristow has again found his majestic touch.
All I heard for 10, 11 months is, you know, I'll beat you in the final, because Keith would never let you forget.
The pressure seemed to be off Diller, now it's back on him. He wants 84. Now 2 darts at his favourite double 12. Only needs 1. Level it all up. We're set up for a deciding set. The young man responding just when it looked like Bristow might be psychologically getting him by the throat.
And Eric in the final, we just never missed anything, and it was 13 darts, 12 darts. It was just unbelievable darts.
A crowd, a buzz, and they were a well-mannered crowd here at the Ladbroke Seashore Village for this Foster's Draft British match play. It's just an indication of how superb this match is, that they're buzzing in between throws. It really is a match to shove the breath back down your throat. Could still go either way.
100.
2 sets apiece. Bristow wins the first leg of the deciding set.
99.
And they're just about level. In fact, Della is 1 in front, so hanging on to strike here. The leg he must win. Here's the score.
140.
Deller responding magnificently. Wants 121. It must have broke his heart that last leg, but it hasn't shown very much. Certainly picked himself up. Here's Bristow again. Oh, there's 2 trebles. Well, they should just put this one into the archives and show it in 100 years' time. Wants 101 now. He wants the ball to finish Deller, and he's got it! Well, let it go to the history books. Here's one commentator who's speechless. Remarkable.
I promise you, it was the finest match you will ever see. The darts throughout was absolutely out of this world.
And Bristow has the darts. Even Tony, the man who has called a million games, was speechless there as well. And look at Bristow go.
135.
Whatever the outcome, it's a tragedy that somebody's got to lose this one. I should declare a draw now, share the money. So it's 2 apiece in sets, 1 apiece in legs. Here's Bristow with a lead of 45. And these.
100.
That has masked a fair bit of the treble from Deller. Still got it in. He's going to have to switch now.
99.
Bristow still with his nose in front. 266 against 302. There it is.
100.
The darts, the strike, proving to be difficult to regain. Deller again looks up, needs 302.
100.
So could this be the final chapter of a remarkable darts match? Bristow needing 216s. It is! And Bristow says it all. Fantastic match. Bristow wins it. You have to rise to Keith Deller, who came back again and again. We have seen a classic, and we have been privileged to do so.
People still go on about it, saying that was the best final ever. Unfortunately, the trophy went Eric's way.
Okay, he won the World Championship, he won the Diamond Masters, and he won the British Professional within months. And I mean, that's some going.
If I mention the name Bobby George, the first thing you'll think about is gold. But back in the early days, he was more bland than bling.
Bobby, he came to light with the news of the world.
Representing the George V, Ilford, Essex, Bobby George.
Everyone went in the news of the world.
It was a tournament that goes back to 1930-odd.
Well, you could go down the pub, put your name down, play your pub finals, then you'd go into your regional finals.
You had to play like 5 different nights, best of 3, 501, throw from 8 foot. Toughest tournament in the world to win.
I mean, that used to be the biggest crowd ever, with 10,000 people.
And his worthy opponent, Lance Richards.
First semi, and an interesting one between Lance Richards here, the Welsh champion, and the redoubtable Eastern Counties #1, Bobby George from Ilford.
I was 30 before for a dart, which is quite old, I suppose. If you're going to be a sportsman of some kind, you normally start when you're a kid.
He now wants the ball again. And he's got it again! Remarkable! 2 ball finishes for Bobby George for a place in the finals.
He'd only been playing 6 months before he won the news of the world.
George, the first of the finalists who hasn't lost a leg yet.
I was digging tunnels and laying granite floors, and throwing a dart is like finesse, and it's like,
Bobby George has won the toss and has strike. Remember, best of 3 legs, 501 for the news of the World Championship. Glazier. He does enjoy his darts. Didn't enjoy that one too well. Hit the wire, bounced out. George, 33 years old, self-employed floor layer from Ilford in Essex. Glazier, one-time house painter, now full-time professional dartsman. Taking his time to find his rhythm, no question about that. George has looked in top form right through. So Bobby George taking this leg by the throat. Glazier not getting any luck at all at the moment. That was just the wrong side of the wire. 41 only. George needs 201. Hasn't missed a ton yet. Fourth consecutive ton. That really is championship form from Bob George. Glazier a long way back. On the ball, Bobby George. He can do that in 2 darts, but instead he's gone for 60. That's 61 now. He wants double top. His finishing is absolutely brilliant. 15 darts only. Bobby George 1, Alan Glazier 0. Glazier must bounce back. Play now. The big guns really booming. The dart players holding one, the maximum 180, and we really have some final. George then with one maximum 180 under his belt. He really is playing unbeatably at this stage. Really almost impossible to match, and well, I don't know who he is, but we can hardly ignore him from this in the crowd. George, one leg up, needs 181 in this second leg. First time he's missed a ton in this final. There's the scores. Glazier crucially behind. For the final, for the title, Bobby George has got a 3. Goes for 118. Needs that treble 20 to lead in double top. And has not got it. Glazier then with a chance to step in and level it up. 76 his target. Wants 2 18s. He had his chances. Now Bobby George looking for 80. Which way will he go? He's gone tops. He now needs double top for the title.
Very difficult game to win. 3 legs, 501 from 8 foot. Now, today, 7'9" and a quarter. They say, well, 3 inches don't make that much difference. You ask your wife.
And he has done it! 15 darts again. Championship stuff from Bobby George. And the News of the World crown is his.
I've got something they can't take away from me. I'm the only guy ever to win the News of the World without dropping 1 leg.
And nobody can argue about this champion. Bobby George, truly golden arrows.
Coming up next is Old Stoneface, where John Lowe rewrote the history of darts and done his famous 9-dart 501, which earned him £102,000. Not bad for 9 darts work. We can't look back to darts' golden era without focusing on one man, Old Stoneface.
Mr. John Lowe!
As far as I'm concerned, he was the most consistent dart player that I've ever seen.
John would just very efficiently get on and do the job and win a lot of titles.
Golden era without focusing on one man, Old Stoneface.
Mr. John Lowe!
As far as I'm concerned, he was the most consistent dart player that I've ever seen.
John would just very efficiently get on and do the job and win a lot of titles.
It's beginning to look like it's going to go into the sudden death final leg for the second time. Low with the darts here. It's 3-3.
85.
And again, that has to be interpreted as a banana skin for Lazarenko. This gives Lowe the opportunity to gain valuable ground.
60. 45.
Lazarenko trailing, as you can see, by very nearly 200, but then Lowe again came back from this kind of deficit in an earlier leg in this incredible final.
81. John requires 160.
That's 3 5s. Should come out for 3 17s perhaps. He has, and he's got it. He wants the ball.
Yes! That's the 7th leg. John. 8th leg. It's good throwing first.
Well, sensational among commentators is an overworked superlative, but who would deny its use here?
100.
Well, Lowe again. If he could just find that little bit extra, could win it here before we go into the sudden death.
140.
With Lazarenko looking elsewhere for big trebles. Lowe has now gained the advantage of the throw. just looks to be pacing himself the better at this moment. 2 successive ton 40s.
140!
80 scored.
140!
Third successive 140. Unbelievable.
Requires 81.
And it could be an 11-dart finish here for Lowe if he can manage it. And now he wants the ball to win the title. Taking his time and doing it quite magnificently. That really is unbelievable. It went one way and the other. We went 2 sets up to Lazarenko. It came back 2-2, and John Lowe, in one of the most unforgettable darting finals of all time, wins it on the bullseye.
That was his forte, consistency. And even today, I've always said, consistency wins matches.
One particular achievement by John guaranteed his name in the history books forever. The first ever televised 9-dart.
I don't think they ever thought it was going to happen.
It was either going to be me or Jockey. Jockey had a shot at it a couple of years before at the World Championship, missed double 18.
We were both looking to make the semi-finals, and we didn't know at the beginning of the day that that was going to be the history, you know, what was made by John.
£102,000.
John to throw first.
So now Lowe with the darts in the second leg.
180!
The maximum with the first 3 darts. Second dart just about hanging on.
59.
He just never looked like missing one dart there. It was fantastic.
Now can Lowe hit the second maximum 180?
The 180 was perfect. Didn't hesitate, didn't bottle it, didn't jump.
He can indeed. We are on course for a 9-dart checkout.
100!
Has never been seen in televised history. He wants 141. Looks like he's coming for 3 17s.
When he hit the treble 17
Yes.
and then went treble 18, I put my hand up
Yes.
to the crowd to say, don't shout out.
He wants 2 18s for £100,000.
Yeah!
He has done it! A moment of darting history. The first ever televised.
First ever 9-dart finish.
We have seen darts all over the world. We have been to Hawaii, we've been to Las Vegas, we've been to New Zealand, and John Lowe is the man to make history.
9-dart, 501, 102 grand. Lovely jubbly.
And what a moment of magic for John Lowe.
He never bought us a drink either.
What John Lowe has done here is equivalent to Roger Bannister becoming the first man to run underneath 4 minutes.
Well, I don't think John would have done a 4-minute mile, but he could certainly do a 9-dart finish.
He doesn't really bring that up in conversation, but I think he's quite proud of it inside himself, and which is so he should be.
And there is the winning dart, and that seals an afternoon which will go into darting folklore.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed looking back at the eras of the 80s, where we had some great games, some great characters, but there could only be one number one.
Bristow. Crafty Cockney.
Looking mean.
Some crowd out there to face.
I'm not playing a crowd, I'm playing him.
Eric Bristow looking against phlegmatic as usual. Oh, what a finish! You simply cannot play against that. Already got his hands around the trophy. The finishing is immaculate. outstanding display of darts. Love him or loathe him, he is the best on earth.